Hello and welcome to Nltv. This is your anchor, Ravina Lama, and you're watching Nltv News Now. Now headlines. In its annual administrative report 2021 and 2022 tabled in the recently concluded State Assembly session, Nagaland School Education Department reports 4,410 untrained teachers in government school in Nagaland. District-wise, Dimapur records highest number of untrained teachers at 17, followed by Tuensang with 682 and Mon with 631. Chang Wedoshi Satsang locks down Office of Executive Engineer PWD Tuensang Division Office. CWS asks Nagaland Public Worker Department Engineer-in-Chief to clarify as to why the construction of Mechanical Engineer Office building and workshop residence for PWD have been left incomplete even after 16 years. United Committee Manipur warns Southern Angami Public Organization of counter-ban if they fail to withdraw its indefinite ban. UCM President Joy Chandra Thonthonjam reiterates that they will join hands with Assam-based Manipuris and will impose a counter-ban. Nagaland registered a total of 18,283 vehicles during the current year from April 1, 2021 to January 31, 2022. As per annual administrative reports of Transport Department, a total of 20,577 driving licenses issued during the period. An awareness program emphasizing scheme under Water Resources Department held under Beti Bachao Beti Parao scheme at Chirima village in Bawi, Kohima. The district level Center for Women Mahila Shakti Kendra, Kohima, in collaboration with Water Resources Department, held the awareness program. In the backdrop of the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine, India and US to hold a two dialogues meeting on April 11 to further cement defense and political ties. Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to meet US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Now news in details. As per the annual administrative reports 2021 and 2022 tabled by the Nagaland School Education Department in the recently concluded Nagaland Assembly session, there are a total of 4,410 untrained teachers in the state of Nagaland. The list of untrained teachers is a combination of primary, upper primary, secondary and high secondary level. District-wise, Dimapur has the highest number of untrained teachers at 17, followed by Tuensang 682, Mon at 631, Zunuboto with 586, Mokochung at 369, Kifiri 322, Woka 270, Peren 265, Peg 244, Kohima 223 and Longland with 108. The untrained teachers in primary section are the highest with 2,179, followed by upper primary 1,586, secondary 524 and high secondary 121. The overall percentage of trained teacher is 77% for both primary and upper primary, secondary 78% and high secondary 81%. Chang Wedoshi Set Chang on March 28th locked Office of the Executive Engineer of PWD Housing Tuensang Division, asking the Nagaland Public Work Department Engineer-in-Chief to clarify as to why the construction of Mechanical Engineer Office building and workshop residence for PWD Road and Bridge Additional Chief Engineer have been left incomplete even after 16 years. CWS even sought response within 15 days with effect from February 19, but the department has failed to respond. Henceforth, the office of the PWD Housing Tuensang will be locked indefinitely until the office receives the reasons. CWS President C. Pongshu and GS Iboy Naset states that as per the letter issued on March 20th, the conference will not be held responsible for any untoward situation. The new office building of Block Development Officer was inaugurated on Monday at Project Colony in Wokha. Furthermore, Minister for Rural Development Matsuba Jamir, after inaugurating the building, urged the people to extend their cooperation and support to the government and the department to bring about more developmental programs for the benefit of the rural population. Meanwhile, ADC Wokha Langkong Sen Sang thanked the department for providing the BDO office with a new building. Nagaland registered a total of 18,283 vehicles during the current year from April 1, 2021 to January 31, 2022, as per the annual administrative reports 2021 to 2022 of Transport Department. The report states that a total of 20,577 driving licenses have been issued during the period April 1, 2021 up to January 2022. The report further stated that a total of 835 defaulters were detected and a total amount of Rs 7,59,950 is realized as compound fees. Meanwhile, road safety has become a major concern in the state. The rate of accident in Nagaland is on the rise. This is because of lack of proper knowledge of driving, rash driving, speed drunk driving and driving on poor quality road. Motor Vehicles Department says that 56 people were killed from road accident in the state during 2021. Nagaland T. Senka Ao have been conferred with the Padma Shri in the field of literature and education at a ceremony held at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi on Monday. On the occasion, Chief Minister Nltv Rio took down the Twitter and congratulated Ao on receiving the award. Rio further stated that the people of Nagaland values Ao's contribution and that the entire state is extremely proud of his achievement. A block-level portion, Pakwada, was launched on Monday at CDPO office in Jaluki at Paran. Notably, the program has been launched in view of March month, being observed as Poshan Pakwada. Meanwhile, CDPO Jaluki Namhu Hing, while addressing the gathering, spoke on Jan Andolan movement and encouraged the Angawadi workers to participate and play an important role to raise awareness on health and nutrition among the community. It may be mentioned that the Poshan Project Coordinator Kegung Debo chaired launching program. Training on Biofertilizer Production Unit held a 3-day training program from March 24 to 26 at Bioorganic Quality Control Laboratory at District Soil Conservation Office in Dimapur. Notably, the training was held under the theme Mother Culture, Maintenance, Mass Production and Storage of Biofertilizer for Promotion of Organic Farming in Northeast India. It is to be mentioned that the training program was organized by the College of Postgraduate Studies in Agriculture Science, CAU, Imphal, UMIN, Meghalaya, and was sponsored by the Director, Extension Division. Meanwhile, Dr. Dwipendra Thakuria, Dr. Juri Sandhya Barik, and Dr. Sapu Chankija graced the training as a resource person. The Directorate of School Education has notified that the 5th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha, the unique interactive program of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with students, teachers and parents, will be held on 1st April 2022 at 11 a.m. Notably, the program will be broadcasted live through DD National, DD News and DD India and live web streaming on website of PMO, NAMO, APP, MOE, Doordarshan and in mygov.in YouTube channel. An awareness program emphasizing scheme under Water Resources Department was held under Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme at Chedama village in Bawe, Kohima on Monday. Notably, the district-level Center for Women Mahila Shakti Kendra Kohima in collaboration with Water Resources Department held the awareness program. It may be mentioned that the program was chaired by District Coordinator DLCW MSK Keso Nino Kanse. Meanwhile, the resource person for the day was SDO Kohima Division ER Putegyo Kawangkre. United Committee Manipur UCM won the Southern Angami Public Organization of counter ban provided that they failed to withdraw its indefinite ban. SEPO indefinite ban has affected the normal vehicular movement along National Highway 2. Addressing a press conference in Imphal, UCM President Joy Chandra Konthaunjam reiterated that they will join hands with Assam-based Manipuris and will impose a counter ban. He further stated that the demand made by SEPO is uncalled for and claimed that if SEPO really wants to resolve border dispute, then they should approach the state government of Nagaland. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will meet CM Conrad K. Sangma of Meghalaya and CM Himanta Biswa Sharma of Assam on Tuesday to solve the decades-old border dispute between two states. In the meeting, the Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) is anticipated to finalize the border agreement signed between Assam and Meghalaya in January to settle the dispute in 6 areas. The meeting, however, proved to be significant as opposition party in Meghalaya, Trinamool Congress Party, raised objection earlier to the agreement signed between the two states. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will meet CM Conrad K. Sangma of Meghalaya and CM Himanta Biswa Sharma of Assam on Tuesday to solve the crucial decades-old border disputes between two states. In the meeting, the Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) is anticipated to finalize the border agreement signed between Assam and Meghalaya in January to settle the dispute in 6 areas. The meeting, however, proved to be significant as opposition party in Meghalaya, Trinamool Congress Party, raised objection earlier to the agreement signed between the two states. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will meet CM Konrad K. Sangma of Meghalaya and CM Himanta Biswa Sharma of Assam on Tuesday to solve the decades-old border dispute between the two states. In the meeting, the Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) is anticipated to finalize the border agreement signed between Assam and Meghalaya in January to settle the disputes in 6 areas. The meeting, however, proved to be significant as opposition party in Meghalaya, Trinamool Congress Party, raised objection earlier to the agreement signed between the two states. Will meet CM Konrad K. Sangma of Meghalaya and CM Himanta Biswa Sharma of Assam on Tuesday to solve the decades-old border disputes between the two states. In the meeting, the Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) is anticipated to finalize the border agreement signed between Assam and Meghalaya in January to settle the disputes in 6 areas. The meeting, however, proved to be as significant as opposition party in Meghalaya, Trinamool Congress Party, raised objection earlier to the agreement signed between the two states. So we will be going a phone conversation with our senior colleagues, Mr. Dibendra Chakrabarty, regarding the update between the Meghalaya CM and the Assam CM regarding the border dispute.
So as we have just mentioned in the bulletin, that the border dispute between Assam and Meghalaya is very crucial, and it has been, going for the last 5 decades, as you have already mentioned, since Meghalaya came into existence in the year of 1972, and from that point till date, area of 88.4.9 kilometer, that interstate border area is under dispute, and specifically 12 areas are concerned for the whole this dispute. And if to be very specific, I would like to mention that the areas are Tarabari, Gizang, Hahin, Boklapara, the Khanapara, Pilinkata area, which is very near to the Guwahati, adjacent to the Guwahati main city, and Ratachera. These areas falls under the main 3 districts: West Khasi Hills, Ribhoi district, and East Jantia Hills. And these areas are primarily under the dispute between the 2 neighboring states, and so that areas are creating a lot of trouble between the 2 states over the last 5 decades. So this time, in August 2021, in the month of August, the 2 states actually mutually agreed to find a solution, to end the dispute. And the first phase of the meeting, that took place last year. So after that, once again, the things have now taken a shape, and Union Home Minister Amit Shah has called for a crucial meeting that will take place between the Home Minister, and he has also called upon the 2 Chief Minister of the state, respectively, Himanta Biswa Sharma and Konrad Sangma. And the meeting is likely to take place around 4:30 this afternoon, and where the dispute will to come to a kind of solution and a settlement. And it has been anticipated a draft resolution, will be passed, at the end of the day to end the dispute. And even, in fact, yesterday when Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, once he came back from attending the swearing-in ceremony of Pramod Sawant and landed in Guwahati, then he, briefing the media persons, he briefed that this evening there might be a agreement signing between the 2 states to end the dispute. So that is what the information that we have right now. So it will be very interesting to see what the developments take place in the evening once the meeting is over. But it is expected that finally the border dispute between the Assam and Meghalaya is coming to an end once this pact is signed between the 2 states. And interestingly, this is not the only dispute that Assam is having with Meghalaya. It also had some border issue with Nagaland also, So, in fact, in the recently concluded assembly session, Chief Minister Rio also hinted that there will be an out-of-court settlement between the 2 states to end the year-long, border dispute. So that is also will be interesting to see once Assam and Meghalaya comes to this pact. Now, the next step will be interesting to see whether when India, I beg your pardon, the Nagaland government and the Assam government, hold talks and deliberations to end the dispute between the states, that is, I mean to say, Assam and Nagaland also. So, as of now, the initial phase, the Union Home Minister, the central government has taken a step and called the two state chief ministers to Delhi to finalize a solution to end the dispute that has been longing for 5 decades. So that is what we will keep an eye, and in the evening we will update more about the story. But as of now, once again, we'd like to brief our viewers that the Union Home Minister has called a crucial meeting between the Assam and Meghalaya Chief Minister to finalize a draft resolution of the two states, Assam and Meghalaya, towards settling the boundary dispute in the 6 of the 12 areas that are under dispute as of now. Rovi.
So well said by our senior colleagues, Dibendra Chakrabarti. Today at 4:30 p.m. there will be a crucial meeting between the CM of Meghalaya and CM of Assam, Conrad K. Sangma and Himanta Biswa Sharma, along with the Home Minister Amit Shah. They will be speaking on the awaited border dispute, which nearly took 5 decades from 1962 till now, and hope that the border dispute agreement or the decision that they're going to take will be a final and a positive, and it will create a bond support relationship between Assam and Meghalaya. So they're going to meet Amit Shah, will meet CM Conrad K. Sangma of Meghalaya and CM Himanta Biswa Sharma of Assam on Tuesday to solve the decades-old border dispute between two states in the meeting. The Ministry of Home Affairs MHA is anticipated to finalize the border agreement signed between Assam and Meghalaya in January to settle the dispute in 6 areas. So, like our senior Dibendra Chakrabarti has said that there were like 6 disputed areas were there. So the meeting, however, proved to be significant as opposition party in Meghalaya, Trinamool Congress party raised objection earlier to the agreement signed between the two states. In a recent development in Punjab, former Chief Minister of the state, Charanjit Singh Chani, has skipped a summons issued by the Enforcement Directorate in the money laundering case. ED Zonal Unit in Jalandhar on Monday summoned Chani for questioning in the money laundering charges against his nephew, Bhupendra Singh Hani, in an illegal sand mining case in Punjab. After Chani skipped the summons and did not appear before the agency, the ED is now planning to issue him fresh summons. Chani is likely to be asked to explain his nephew's alleged visit to the CM office, transfer of some states' government employees and funds to the tune of ₹10 crore allegedly received by Hani to facilitate mine-related works through his political connection. According to evidence gathered by the ED, Hani is learned to have identified himself as a politician in an entry pass to the CM office. In its raid on January 18 against Hani and others, the ED had seized around ₹7.9 crore cash from his premises and another ₹2 crore cash from a person linked to him identified as Sandeep Kumar. NSC and IM UT through a notification informed that all discos, pubs, night within the UT jurisdiction should shut operation with immediate effect. Notably, the press note also stated that gathering of people at night would also be prohibited, particularly in State Stadium, Agri Expo, Fort Mile and other such places, where they indulge in alcohol consumption, illegal drugs and immoral activities, creating nuisance in the area and occasionally resulting in violence. Furthermore, UT informed that its personnel and staff would conduct checking in the mentioned place regularly, adding that the defaulters will be liable for strict action. It is to be mentioned that for more information, one could contact UT office 8977-4479592. I repeat, 977-447-9592. Senior Janata Dal United leader Deepak Kumar Mehta, who was shot on Monday evening in Patna, Danapur in Bihar, succumbed to his injuries on Tuesday. Mehta was shot by criminals in Danapur, where 5 bullets were fired at him, including one in the chest and other on the head. JDU Vice President said that the incident was unfortunate and the government will take action against all involved in the incident. A special CBI court on Monday held Jharkhand former Education Minister and senior Congress MLA Bandhu Tirki guilty in a disproportionate asset case and sentenced him to 3 years of rigorous imprisonment. The Court of Special Judicial Commissioner and CBI Prabhat Kumar Sharma imposed a fine of 3 lakhs on Tirki in the disproportionate case. Tirki accumulated rupees 6,28,698 during his 2005 to 2009 tenure as a minister in the state. The Indian Naval Air Squadron INAS 316, Indian Navy's second P-81 aircraft squadron, was commissioned on Tuesday at INS Hansa, Goa. The INAS 316 was commissioned in the presence of Admiral R. Harikumar, Chief of Naval Staff. The Admiral, in his speech, said that in today's dynamic and complex security situation, the squadron operational capability will enhance the ability to protect, preserve and promote the national maritime interests. The INAS 316 have been christened as the Condors after one of the largest flying birds in the world. The insignia of the squadron depicts a condor searching over the blue expanse of the sea. In the backdrop of the ongoing Russia invasion of Ukraine, India and US will hold a two-dialogue meet on April 11 to further cement defense and political ties, as well as exchange notes of Ukraine and Indo-Pacific theaters of concern. Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will meet US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who are expected to share the American assessment of the Ukraine war. Notably, the two powerhouse nations will also share assessment on the Indo-Pacific, with the Chinese Navy growing by the day and PLA dragging its feet on restoring peace and tranquility on the East Ladakh LSC. India and US are also expected to increase defense cooperation and discuss Afghanistan, with the Taliban continuing with regressive measures and hardline implementation of Islamic laws by keeping girls out of school and women out of jobs. Ukrainian forces recaptured a key suburb as they desperately cling on the besieged city of Mariupol as negotiator prepared to meet Russia counterparts for a face-to-face negotiation talks in Istanbul on Tuesday. The Ukrainian troops liberated the suburban town of Irpin, a key gateway to the capital northwest from Russian control. While Ukraine are counter-attacking in the north, they are struggling to retain control of the southern port city of Mariupol.
Авиация прилетела. Это пиздец, это одна ракета упала сюда. Одна ракета такие колоссальные разрушения сделала.
The no-confidence motion against Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was tabled on March 28. Leader of opposition LOP Shehbaz Sharif presented the motion in the National Assembly. Sharif earlier summoned all members of the National Assembly MNAs for the crucial session on 29 March. As per sources, 16 MNAs supported the motion and was accepted by the Speaker. The House now has 7 days to pass the no trust motion and has been adjourned till March 31 at 4 p.m. As per Pakistan Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid, the House have been given 3 days for discussion and the fate of the Imran Khan-led government will be decided on April 4 when voting on the no trust will take place. Gujarat Titans made their marks in their first outing in Indian Premier League (IPL) with a 5-wicket win against fellow debutant Lucknow Super Giant at Wankhede Stadium, Gujarat. Gujarat Titans had everything in their favour on as they won the toss, opted to bowl and restricted Lucknow to just 159 with the dew setting in. Gujarat Titans played brilliant knock in the second inning to give the debutant a maiden win in the first game. Gujarat Titan Rahul Tewatia scored 40, Matthew Wade 30, Hardik Pandya 22 and David Miller 30. Played inspiring knock for Gujarat as they cashed the target of 159 with 2 balls to spare in the battle of debutant against Lucknow. Gujarat Titans Mohammad Shami was named the player of the match. North Macedonia travelled to the Estadio do Dragão to face Portugal in the World Cup 2022 playoff final on Tuesday evening. Fernando Santos' side swept aside Turkey 3-1 in their semi-final encounter, while the visitors sunk a ringing European champion Italy 1-0 on a magnificent night in Palermo. Portugal have scored in each of the last 19 World Cup qualifying matches on home soil since drawing a blank in a goalless draw with Sweden back in March 2009. North Macedonia meteoric rise reached new height as North Macedonia cherished a victory in Palermo marked their third win on the bounce in World Cup qualifying as well as their successive win and clean sheet away from home. North Macedonia managed to hold Portugal to a memorable 0-0 draw, the last time that the two sides met back in a 2012 friendly, with Tuesday game marking the first ever competitive scrap between the two nations. The 40th nationwide strike called by the Central Trade Union to protest against the government policy has entered its second day on Tuesday, impacting normal life in some parts of the country. Notably, banking and transport services were partially hit on Monday in Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Kerala, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, among others. On the other hand, Congress MP Shakti Singh Gohil on Tuesday gave suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha to discuss the two-day Bharat Bandh. Meanwhile, in Kerala, the High Court was compelled to issue order prohibiting the government employees from abstaining from work, calling it illegal. The southern states woke up to empty streets and the state-run KSRTC buses did not operate, while taxis, auto rickshaws and private buses have been kept away from the roads across the states. Bengal registered demonstration from the left-back agitator who blocked trains, track and also protested on street. Meanwhile, some government buses were ransacked by supporters of the strike in North Bengal, especially in Cooch Behar district. Haryana commuters, including students, bore the brunt of the strike on day one as state-run buses remained off-road. Transport services were impacted in Karnal, Panipat, Kurukshetra, Sirsa, Fatehabad, Rohtak, Ambala, Yamunanagar and Kaital district. Over 100 workers of the Municipal Corporation of Gurugram protested in Gurgaon near Delhi. Notably, the two-day Bharat Bandh has been called by trade unions to protest against central government policies affecting workers, farmers and common people. Another reason behind the two-day Bharat Bandh call is reduced rate of interest on employees' provident fund organization and rising fuel prices. The record-breaking spree of fuel prices continue on March across Nagaland as the state records another hike on March 20th, with Monday hike petrol price in Dimapur increased from Rs 101.13 to Rs 101.97 per litre, and diesel price surged from 87.81 to Rs 88.51. On the other hand, the fuel rates in Kohima district noted a hike from Rs 102.24 to Rs 103.08 per litre, while the diesel price increased from Rs 88.70 to Rs 89.40 per litre. This is all for now. For more updates, keep watching Nltv.